everybody. Today we're at the Jesse Besser Museum in Alpena, Michigan. So let's go see what's in there. First off, before we even go in the building, is this giant eagle head made by Tom Moran from Onaway, Michigan. Right here, Eagle, Tom Moran, Moran Ironworks. And it is huge. And then there is this, in honor of all who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom, in memory of Paul Darga and Alan Greca. Their real boots, gun, and hats, just sealed up in something. So then we have this really pretty fountain here. The water in it is kind of gross, but the fountain's pretty. And it said it was made by Glenn Michaels in 1979. And then we have this cool sculpture, wind sculpture here. Oh, and this is also by Tom Moran. It says Grapevine by Tom Moran. That's pretty cool. Didn't know he made this, but we live 3 miles away from Moran Ironworks. So this is local, definitely local stuff to us. So first off, there are these artworks. And then facts about the Fletcher Paper Company. And they have a planetarium.
Somebody's in there.
And then here are some historical photos of Alpena. All kinds of stuff.
That's still that.
Yep, I know for a fact that's still there. They call it the corner building. Yep. I lived in Alpena for a long time. And then in 2015, I moved away with Don. Yep. All kinds of early stuff about Alpena. Okay, this thing is called this. I cannot pronounce that. But here's the info on it if you want to pause it. That looks pretty cool too. And here's a big safe. From 1870. Wow. And then more Alpena info. Famous names and people. Bricks. Alpena Motor Car Company. Didn't even know that was ever there. Here is an old, two old gas pumps. More stuff about the cars. And a car. That's cool. Of course it's blocked off so nobody can crawl around on it, which wouldn't be nice. And then this, which we will look at from downstairs as well, is a pendulum clock, and every hour it knocks a peg down. This has been here since before I was born. I remember looking at it as a little kid. And we will be checking it out from downstairs, much more up close. And this is the Avenue of Shops. I always thought this was really cool because it kind of reminds me of the House on the Rock in Wisconsin. The kind of things they have in there. Lots of historical stuff in there. This is a store. Long Rapids General Store. Yep, supposed to be Long Rapids.
The blanket they put over them in the wintertime to keep warm.
Yeah.
That's made out of hide.
Yeah. Really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a buggy.
You know what
From
this,
1910.
You know what this is?
No.
It is a blanket made out of hides to go over you when it's cold.
Yeah, which it's cold a lot in northern Michigan. This is a law office of Charles R. Henry. Apparently it was in there, which I know where that house is. A lot of reflections, but definitely interesting in there. There we go, that's a little better. No reflections. This is the door. And they're going to put something new here, but this looks like a mill. Alpena hardboard facility. Planing plant. This is a blacksmith shop, the Baker Blacksmith Shop. That looks really cool in there, especially that lantern. I think it's supposed to be the fire, but it's a lantern. Shows some of the things they made. Shovels, hammers, horseshoes, tools, emblems, anvils, all kinds of stuff. And this is Thomas Baker. And here's a little toy store. Toy shop. Yeah, these are definitely old toys. Looks really cool. There's a bunch of fish in a box back there. Yeah, definitely different than the kind of toys they have now. So this is a barrel making? Oh, a copper shop. No, a cooper shop. It shows the parts of a barrel, and there's a barrel. This is a harness shop. Very interesting. And in here, there's an organ. 2 organs. Music store parlor. Wow, that's pretty. This whole room is pretty. And we must be coming up on a barber shop. And this is photography. Photographer's studio. Definitely different than the kind of cameras we have now. Oh, and there's one of those big things where you had to sit still for like 20 minutes for them to take a picture. That's pretty dark, but I don't know where that goes, but it's a pretty door. Okay, this is millinery shop, aka hat shop, apparently. Of course, everything here is about Alpena, as it should be, because that's where we are. Okay, here's the barber shop. Wood stove. Hi. That's cool. Slag glass collection. Yeah, this is all glass. All these flowers and stuff, this is all glass. Wow. Beautiful. Kendrick's China Shop. And this says, what is slag glass? Slag glass is a type of opaque, streaked, and/or antique striped glass. And then you can read on if you'd like. Here's that other shop from the other side. Pretty trim. And this says, Spence Drugs Wallpaper. Yep. Old-timey medicine. Old, hoax cures and stuff. Medicine man stuff. Wow, that's a big bottle. And you can get another view here. And then here's the general store. Yeah, this was the one that's supposed to be in Lachine. $500 reward for somebody. Clothing. And more historical Alpena photos. And here are some really pretty model ships. They're bigger than they look. Pretty. So before we head downstairs, there are all these cool rocks and stuff. Geodes. And fossils. So here are lots of maps. That's what they used to think Michigan looked like, but they didn't have any way of finding out any different. It was 1837. This too, these silly old maps. Just guessing. 1825 for that one. And this one is 1822. Okay, wow. This one is 1695, 1803, 1778, 1831, and 1703. Wow, I can't even recognize Michigan there at all. So down here is lots of taxidermy, including this poor wolf that some farmer in Presque County shot thinking it was a coyote. And now there are no wolves left in Presque County anymore because people kept doing that. But this one was brought here. And here's a bear, a scrunch-faced bear. Yep, gorgeous. And here's an American woodcock. And this bear here, a couple of snowy owls, a couple of raccoons, one of which is white, unless that's common and albino raccoon. Several different skulls. A dog, a couple of them, lynx, domestic cat, poor kitty, possum, red fox, beavers, coyote, weasel, mink, northern river otter, there's some fur, striped skunk, boy, I would think they'd have a bigger head than that, muskrat, eastern cotton rabbit, groundhog, more fur, porcupines, white-tailed deer, black bear, domestic pig, and a cow. And then stuff about hunting, rifles and antlers and turkey feathers, fur. And here's some bobcats. Aw, that's cute. So adorable, but not alive. You just want to pet the kitty. Snowshoes and more fur. Foxes. Yep, foxes. That's weird. And here are coyote pups playing. Poor things. They didn't play for long. And here's a big fox. A special one, apparently, with white markings. And a porcupine. Here's somebody's painting. Lots of birds. Here's a killdeer, a Bonaparte's gull. I don't recognize that from here. Common yellowthroat, barred owl, red-eyed vireo, Cope-May warbler, and Hammond's flycatcher, scarlet tanager, a female, and then a male, which is much prettier, but that's how it always goes. Warbling vireo, eastern screech owl, yellow warbler, yellow rumped warbler, least bittern. Why, is he least bitter? Are there others that are much more bitter? American coot, American bittern. He must be more bitter than that guy. Purple gallinule, an overbird? No, an ovenbird. What a weird name. Blue jay, red-winged blackbird, and great crested flycatcher. And here is a Bakel teal, or two of them. And this is a pretty cool bear sculpture. That was done pretty well. Aw, it's cute. And here's a red fox and a mink that don't look like they get along. And here's a wolverine, which we don't really have around here anymore. Even though we have a town named Wolverine, they all got hunted out. They may be coming back. I heard something a couple years ago, vaguely. And then these leaves, several different ones. Yeah, lots of leaves, a whole bunch of leaves all the way down. And then here is a swan, a big swan. And swans are mean. Swans are pretty, but swans are very mean. So if you're out somewhere, don't try to feed or pet a swan, leave it alone. And here's a Brazilian teal and a butterfly. And then here's a gray fox looking at feathers stuck in a tree, mandarin ducks, an otter, and then this big mountain lion. Gorgeous, wow. We do have them around. They call them cougars too. We don't see them very often. Like I've never seen one. Never got one on the trail cam, but they're around. And that's a big pine cone. Coulter pine. Yeah, that is a big pine cone. And then a few others. Some more leaves. Northern shoveler drake. More leaves, more pine cones. This is an emperor goose. And this is a baby porcupine. Aw, and leaves and pine cones. Here's a red fox cub. Poor thing. This is a fisher. And of course, now they've added some moss. And here's a crow. I thought this would be a raven and that the smaller ones are crows. But I guess. And then here's a black bear. And back there is a woodpecker and another one. And then here's another bear. Doesn't say what that one is. Maybe it's a brown bear. And then either a hawk or an osprey up there. These are little black bear cubs. And then, as promised, here is, oh, they don't have any of the pegs out. The pendulum clock. Normally there will be a peg on every black thing. Every little black spot. They look like golf tees. Every hour one gets tipped over. Right now they're not out there for some strange reason. But at least the pendulum is still going. I would hate to see that gotten rid of. And then there's a big bird. And I almost missed this. Almost didn't see it. Doll houses and creepy little doll villages. And you guessed it, more leaves. But here are the fish, tons of different fish. Black crappie, or crappie, I think it is, not crappie.
Crappie.
Crappie, yeah. Smallmouth bass, northern pike, bluegill, it doesn't say, gar, a couple different gars. And there is a salamander, no, a mud puppy, some more gars. There's a lake whitefish, a burbot, channel catfish. Okay, that's a muskie. Big fish. Yellow perch, walleye, white bass, white crappie, not crappie. Carp. Just looks like a big goldfish. Lake trout, freshwater drum, which in other words is sheep's head. And that's what we normally go to catch in Sheboygan, but we didn't get any this year. And the horned grebe, and here are more fish, and ducks, and loons and things, and little birds, a polar bear. This says that this is woodcarver's work. A bunch of different people, like this person. So that's nice work, that's pretty. And then there's this here, old fishing lures. Yeah, Don's in heaven right now among all this fish and fishing stuff. This is a piranha. Now we do not have piranhas here, thankfully, or we wouldn't be able to go swimming. So here are some old boat motors and a nice mural. Cool. So this is a Chinook salmon, and Don was just telling me it's the same size as the biggest fish he ever caught. So now stand there for scale. Move a little closer. There. I can't really get that close. It looks way bigger in person, but that's what he says. That's Don's fishing story.
Yeah. 46 inches long. Never weighed it. God didn't have a way of weighing it.
Huh.
But it was 46 inches long was my biggest one.
Tiger trout. Never heard of that, but it's pretty. A brown trout. An Asian carp. Those are supposed to be invasive from what I've heard.
Yeah. They're in Lisa.
And there is the freshwater goby. We keep catching them in Sheboygan, and they're an invasive species, and we don't like them. You cannot eat them. Here's the white perch, Asian carp again. Another, okay, that's a silver Asian carp, and that's a big head Asian carp, and they're both invasive. Lake trout with a sea lamprey on it. Yuck, gross. Those are in the Akiak River. I hate those things. Luckily, I've never seen one or gotten one stuck on me. Steelhead spawning, rainbow trout.
Which is another steelhead.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Chinook salmon king eating another fish.
Same thing down on the other end.
Okay, we'll stand next to that one. Maybe that you can get a little closer. Yeah, there we go. He said that was the size of his biggest fish that he ever caught.
Yeah, mine was 46 inches long, but I didn't have weighing it when at the time, so
Wow.
2 inches away from 4 foot long. It's my biggest fish.
And then it doesn't say what that is, but it's a fish. Here's a pink salmon Alaskan and a pink salmon humpback, a grayling, which Grayling, Michigan is named after, and another grayling, and this little dude. And here we have basic fish anatomy, if you want to pause that and read it. And here is what we call garbage buzzards.
Dumpster birds.
Yeah, ring-billed gull. But these are the ones who will come right up and steal your food right out of your hand and everything else. They're not good at all. So here is a western diamondback rattlesnake, which we do not have here. But it was donated by a Bob Skuse from Bob's Gun Shop. Not the same Bob Skuse we know. This has to be a different guy. Okay, this is a harlequin duck. Sledding down water made out of resin. A ruddy duck, 2 of them I guess, and a ring-necked duck. So then you can come outside, and there's this cool-looking sculpture. It doesn't say anything about who did it. And then over here is another one. Nope, this one doesn't say who did it either. Okay, and right now, the buildings are closed, but we can still go around and look at them. So we will. So here are some really interesting looking rocks and somebody's legs. But yep, all the way down here, some pretty cool looking stones, big rocks, big round rocks. And a butterfly sculpture. And it doesn't say who did that either. And this is an archaeological dig. And they said we can dig in it and keep whatever we find. So Don's gonna do it. You should read the instructions, I guess. But they've got everything you need here, which is pretty cool. This was not here the last time I was here.
This stuff has been inside long enough to...
Yeah. But yeah, I guess you dig around out there, find something, and then come back here and wash it up. So Don doesn't think he's really going to find anything. He says he needs a pickaxe. They don't provide one of those.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to dig this up. Too hard to dig in.
Yeah. But that's all right. Here's some more of these round rocks, big round rocks. It doesn't say, it says what the rocks are, but not what these big round rocks are. Oh, yeah, it does. Ugh. If I don't trip and kill myself on all these other rocks. These round boulders are called concretions. These round boulders are called concretions. They originate from the Paxton Quarry 8 miles west of Alpena and M32. I do know where that is, so you can pause and read the rest if you want to. So here we have some boats, and the signs are on the ground, so it's another display they're making. Wow, this is a big boat. The Catherine V. Yeah, take one. I don't really want to take one. I'll leave those as a hat. Put a fish on your head. I'll leave it for the kids, but that's cute. This building is cool too. But yeah.
See that?
A little. Pretty interesting.
I wonder if you get to see the other side.
And you can see underneath it. I guess they've been doing things from the underneath too. They have a bunch of like mock buildings, dockside cafe, fish market, repair shop. They aren't real, they're just storefronts. Oh, look. Dwight Schrute got a job on a boat. But you can see the propeller. There are stairs to go down there, but that's okay. There's not that much to see. But that's what it looks like underneath. Okay, and now we're coming up on this boat. I take it it's a fishing boat. Vampire fish wreaking havoc. Ew, gross. Gross. Never heard of those. Gross. DNR. Looks like you can go on this one. Okay, there we go. That's cool. Oh, nice breeze off Lake Huron. Nice cool breeze. The Great Lakes Basin. If you're curious, we're right here. My mom lives right about here. And we live right about here. Food web. Fishing boat, pretty cool. So this says Spratt United Methodist Church, built 1912. There is a Spratt, Michigan, not far from here. But it makes me wonder, did they move that church from there to here? Like I said, we can't go inside any of these buildings right now, but sometimes they are open, just not today. And here's a nature trail. No, we're not gonna go down it because it's getting pretty hot. It probably doesn't go too far, but there's a mailbox, a place to sit, but it's in the sun, church bell, which is chained up so you can't ring it. So they do have these nice picnic tables in the shade right here to stop and rest at, which I just utilized. It's really nice. So if you're here and you get hot out here, come sit down. Here's another outhouse. And then here's a bank. The Exchange Bank of George L. Maltz and Company. Okay. Kind of hard to see in there. There we go. There's a really pretty wood stove in there and the counter and everything. And there's some more stuff. Like I said, sometimes these buildings are open, but not today. And then lots of different farm equipment. And an old log cabin homestead. So there's this building. I don't know if you can see in that. Nah, you can't see in there. And another outhouse. And my guess is that's where that trail comes out at. So it's not a very long trail.
That's a two-seater. That way, when somebody goes to the bathroom and their mate, they can hold hands while they poop together.
Oh, ha 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 ha. But this is pretty cool here. Nope, you can't see in there either. Oh, you can see a rocking chair here, but not that well.
Pie in the window.
High in the window?
Yeah, there's a pie in the window.
Oh, pie in the window.
I'm stealing a pie. There's a pie in the window.
Oh, okay.
I'm hungry. I want that pie.
You don't want that pie.
If I want that pie.
I think that pie is made out of plastic and resin and stuff.
That pie, I'm hungry.
Yeah, you don't want that pie.
No, I want that pie.
Here's the back door. And then here inside the outhouse, like Don was saying, it's a two-seater. And then here is an art exhibit. This is The Widow by Marilyn Batchelor. And this one, Barn Buddy by Mary Alice Comar. This is feathers. This is all feathers. Endurance by Michelle Friddle. Photography, Poppies in Waiting by Elizabeth Wright. Wow, this is pretty. Omar River Girls, Pen and Colored Pencil by Chuck Schroeder. This is really pretty. Glass Flowers, Fused Glass by Marilee Keene. And this one, Sheepdog Mixed by Sharon Rickard. Wow, that's pretty. Here the Fall Birch Oil, Marilee Keene. A Trillium Pastel by Carol Pruis. I guess these are going to be voted on. This one is Global Warming Acrylic by Marilyn Batchelor. Wow. Fabulous Fall, mixed by Beverly Chase. Plum Blossom That's watercolor woodblock by Linda Beeman. And this is Red Follow by Megan Oletti. I'm sure I butchered that. And here's a rock tied up in a string. Tomeshi, watercolor woodblock, Linda Beeman. Cameo, watercolor, Karen Ann Yonker. Yeah, there's more by her. Earring number 2 and Pearl. Then Fond Memories, that's acrylic by Don Stewart. Garden Perspectives, watercolor by Jean Stewart. I wonder. That's pretty. Japanese Iris, watercolor and colored pencil. Patricia Scheibold. Okay, these next two are also Patricia Scheibold. This is Coneflower, Pine Cone and Branch. Wow. Silent Sentinels, mixed by Beverly Chase. And then this is Time Warp by Betsy Lendorf. Yeah, that's pretty. And this is Path to the Bay, watercolor, Janice Dumas. Wow. This is Colonel James Schoonmaker, pen and colored pencil, Chuck Schroeder. That one almost looks like a photo. Maybe it is. That's because it is. Summer Gateway Vehicle, photography, Leanna Springer. That's pretty. And it is Island Explorers, watercolor and aquaboard, Janice Dumas. This one, Stormy Day Oil by Glenda Gilmet. This is photography, right? Yes. Life After Death, Denise Londeman. And this one, Pastry Paradox, Happy or Interesting, photography, Rachel Goodstein. And this one is Family Dynamics, mixed, Beverly Chase. And that's pretty. In the Moonlight, watercolor and aquaboard, Janice Dumas. Wow, this is a big one. Depeche Mode, acrylic, Michael LaTulip. And this one is called What's the Point? Mixed media by Ellen Lacrosse. This is also Ellen Lacrosse. It's Bird's Eye View, watercolor and collage. And this is a really big one that looks like a window. That's cool. Early Morning Visitor Oil, Glenda Gilmet. This is pretty. Dancer, Multimedian, Samantha Fressy. And then we exit through the gift shop, where they have a lot of nice stuff in here too.
They got a bunch of them over here. They're $1.50.
And this is feathers, tree made out of feathers. Geodes. Yeah, lots of nice stuff in here. Of course, every gift shop everywhere has to have rocks and books. And I don't know what's going on here, but ever since I bought one of these, they don't have the sturgeon anymore. But ever since I bought one of these at Deer Ranch in St. Ignace, I've been seeing them all over the place. This must be the year for these fish. Puzzles and all kinds of stuff. Cool stuff. Socks. And cards and lots of puzzles. Including that picture again that I have on the wall next to the TV.
This looks like it's out of place.
Yeah.
Not a price tag on it or anything. I wonder if somebody walked off without it.
And there's a fox,
Golf on fish.
more fish, some jewelry. And they have these canes, more puzzles. A blow-up globe. Yeah. Lots of different stuff to choose from. Suckers, toys, stickers, jalapenos. Yeah. There's some like road trip gifts and things. There we go. That's weird. There it goes. That's still weird. Oh, look. A teeny hedgehog. Only one left. And it's all alone in its basket. And then this is the last of it. So there you have it, Jesse Besser Museum in Alpena, Michigan. Very interesting. It's always changing too. They have some areas closed off right now because they're putting new exhibits in, and every time you turn around there's something new. So it's pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and say goodnight, and we hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for subscribing because we couldn't do any of this without you. Both of you say goodnight.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
And we'll see you next time.